Postulates. Postulates are assumptions based on belief or facts. Okay, and we cannot expect mathematical proof for postulates. And in Bohr's postulate, Bohr assumed few things. Based on that, he tried to explain atomic model, and they are called Bohr postulates. First postulate says electron can revolve in certain allowed orbits. As long as electron is revolving in an orbit, there is no loss of energy. Energy is not required for the electron to revolve in that orbit. And such orbits are called stable orbits or stationary orbits. Stationary orbits. Second postulate, if electron is revolving in a stationary orbit, if this is allowed orbit, then angular momentum of electron in that orbit must be an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So angular momentum of electron, treat electron as a particle of mass m. So angular momentum is mvr equal to nh by 2 pi, where n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. So to find electron in an orbit, angular momentum of electron in that orbit must be 1 time h by 2 pi or 2 times h by 2 pi, 3 times h by 2 pi. So only integral values are allowed. So if you ask question, why only integral values, means there is no proof, he assumed, and let us follow those assumptions. That is why they are called postulates. Okay. Third postulate, when an electron takes transition from higher energy state to lower energy state, this represents higher energy state or final state. Energy of electron in this state is EF or E2. Energy in this state is E1 or E initial. So if an electron takes transition from higher energy state to lower energy state, then there is emission of radiation. Radiation of frequency nu given by E2 minus E1 or E final minus E initial. E2 minus E1. Okay. This is an object of mass m. This is in air. If I drop this, then this object goes from this level to ground level. So it goes from higher potential energy level to lower potential energy level, like this. So the energy difference is emitted in the form of sound. So we could hear sound. If it is metal, and this is also metal, if it is stone and stone, along with sound, we can also observe sparks. Sparks means form of energy. So this energy difference is seen as sound energy, vibrational energy. If there are any sparks, then that form of energy, etc. But in the case of electron, when it takes transition from higher energy state to lower energy state, there is no loss of energy in the form of sound or vibration. It is purely radiant energy of frequency nu. That is the meaning h nu equal to E2 minus E1. So these are called Bohr's postulates. Please go through once. Please go through all this once and make a note of this. Expression for radius of hydrogen atom. This can be asked for 3 mark or 5 mark. This is orbit. Electron. Electron is negatively charged. This is nucleus, positively charged. Let Z be the number of protons, called atomic number. Am I right? Charge of each proton be E. Therefore, Q equal to Z into E, total charge of the nucleus. electron, nucleus. These two are two charges separated by some distance, and that distance is radius of the orbit, isn't it? So how this electron will be revolving means the necessary centripetal force for the motion of electron is provided by attraction between nucleus and the electron. So gravitational force and centripetal force in the case of planets, but here electrostatic force must be equal to centripetal force. Centripetal force. Let me write this concept. The necessary centripetal force for the electron is provided by Coulomb's force of attraction between nucleus and the electron. Centripetal force equal to Coulomb's force. Centripetal force is m v square by r. V square by r is centripetal acceleration into mass gives centripetal force equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. There are two charges, right? One is electron, magnitude of charge of electron. This is magnitude of charge of the nucleus by distance square. Distance is radius. Where m is mass, E is magnitude of charge of an electron. V is velocity, R is radius. Velocity or speed of electron. R is radius. Radius of atom, which is distance between electron and the nucleus. Epsilon naught is absolute permittivity of free space. Now in this expression, R get cancels with R. Let me take this R to the other side. So it becomes mv square into R. mv square into R equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Z into E square. Let this be equation 1. Okay. Now let us use Bohr's postulate, angular momentum postulate. Angular momentum of electron in a stationary orbit must be an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So angular momentum equal to nh by 2 pi, or angular momentum is mv r equal to nh by 2 pi. So what is n here? N is discrete values 1, 2, 3, 4, where n is 1, 2, 3, etc. H is Planck's constant. Observe, there is mv square r, here also r. If I divide this by this, r get cancels, but I want radius r. Therefore, let me square this equation. Implies m square v square r square equal to m square v square r square equal to n square h square by 4 pi square. Just square this. Let this be equation 2. Observe equation 2 and equation 1. There is r term here, r square. So equation 2 by equation 1, we can get expression for radius. Now equation 2 by equation 1. Equation 2 is m square v square r square. Equation 1 is mv square r. Equation 2 right hand side is n square h square by 4 pi square. Right hand side of equation 1 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into z square. Now carefully observe. This m get cancels, v square get cancels, r, m into r. M into r equal to 4 pi. This epsilon naught goes to numerator. So it is n square h square epsilon naught by pi z e square, or r equal to, take m to the other side, denominator is pi m z e square, numerator is n square h square epsilon naught. Since there is n, this should be radius of nth orbit. Okay. Therefore, radius of nth orbit is r n equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m z square, or radius is proportional to n square. Let us see what is the meaning of radius is proportional to n square. Okay. So this is the required expression. Expression for radius of nth orbit of atom. But what we want is radius of nth orbit of hydrogen atom. Okay. So for hydrogen z equal to 1, atomic number equal to 1. For hydrogen z equal to 1 means Rn equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. So this is the expression for hydrogen atom. In hydrogen atom, for first orbit, n equal to 1 implies R1 equal to h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. So this is the expression for radius of first orbit of hydrogen atom. Consider Rn equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m z square. Okay. First note, for hydrogen z equal to 1, first orbit n equal to 1 implies R1 equal to, substitute n1 z1, we are left with h square epsilon naught by pi m e square, which is approximately 0.53 angstrom. In problems, let us solve this. For time being, let it be under note. So first note says radius of first orbit of hydrogen atom is 0.53 angstrom. Angstrom is 10 power minus 10 meter, isn't it? Done. Second, radius is proportional to n square. What is the meaning? Radius proportional to n square means R1 is to R2 is to R3 equal to 1 square is to 2 square is to 3 square. 1 is to 4 is to 9. Meaning of this, if this is the nucleus and this is first orbit is at a distance 1 unit. Okay, this is 1 unit. This is R1. Second orbit should be at a distance 4 times this. 4 times means 1, 2, 3, 4. This is second orbit of hydrogen atom. So this distance is R2. R2 is 4 times R1. Students, can you guess the third orbit? It should be at a distance 9 times 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So somewhere here there should be this next orbit. One unit, 4 units, 9 units. Okay, so this is the meaning of R1 is to R2 is to R3 equal to 1 is to 4 is to 9. Usually, what is the misconception? Most often we draw atoms like this, equidistant. They are not equidistant. Actually, it varies as 1 is to 4 is to 9 is to next is 16, isn't it? This is how it goes. Next note, let it be under note. Expression for velocity of electron. Physics is a beautiful subject, isn't it? We can't see electron, we can't see hydrogen atom. Still, we have mathematical tool. Mathematics is a tool to understand universe. Okay. Using mathematics, we also predict the velocity of electron in hydrogen atom. So let us find expression for velocity of hydrogen atom. Let this be under note. Just now we understood centripetal force. Necessary centripetal force for the electron is provided by Coulomb's force. Coulomb's force, isn't it? Centripetal force is mv square by r. Coulomb's force is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Z into E is charge of the nucleus. E is magnitude of charge of an electron by r square. R get cancels. Take r to the other side. M v square r equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Z E square, because r is on the other side. This is equation 1. Next, angular momentum must be an integral multiple of h by 2 pi, isn't it? So angular momentum is mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. So earlier we squared this equation. Now don't square, divide one by the other. You can say v square here. There is v. This by this gives. So equation 1 by equation 2. Equation 1 is m v square r. Equation 2 is mv r. mv square r is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into z square. Equation 2 is nh by 2 pi. See, m get cancels, r get cancels, even 1v get cancels, remaining is v. So v equal to 2 pi 1, 2 pi 2, 2 epsilon naught nh, denominator 2 epsilon naught nh, numerator is z square, z e square, or velocity of electron in nth orbit is equal to z e square by 2 epsilon naught nh, or velocity is proportional to 1 by n. Observe, 1 by n. So what is the meaning of velocity inversely proportional to n? With the increase in n, velocity decreases. Means if this is the nucleus, from the nucleus these are the orbits. If electron is closer to the nucleus in the inner orbit, its velocity is more. As electron moves away from the nucleus, its velocity decreases. So this expression is required. Velocity equal to z square by 2 epsilon naught nh. Students, write this equation 5 times. Okay. Similarly, write the equation for radius 5 times. It should come instantaneously. If somebody asks, or in some problem, if you see expression for velocity, you should be in a position to tell quickly. Velocity is z square by 2 epsilon naught nh. Radius is n square h square epsilon naught by pi m z square. Expression for energy of electron in nth orbit of hydrogen atom. In second chapter, we have studied about electrostatic potential. Electrostatic potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r. So if this is a charge q, this is point P. What is the electrostatic potential at point P due to this charge? Means it is constant q by r. Let this be small q, small q. Now, if there are two charges q and q dash, then potential energy of the system is constant, product of two charges q into q dash by r. Observe, charge by distance. Potential energy is q dash by r, two charges by r. In the case of hydrogen atom, you can see two charges. One is minus e electron, the other is plus z into e. So there is potential energy for the system. So equate potential energy to, therefore there is potential energy for the system. Potential energy. At the same time, this electron is revolving with speed v, velocity v. Magnitude is just speed. Magnitude with direction is velocity. And with this velocity, one can find kinetic energy. So sum of these two is total energy. So total energy of electron is sum of potential and kinetic. Okay. So we have to find this. Hydrogen or hydrogen-like atom. Hydrogen-like atom means single electron system. Okay. Hydrogen or hydrogen-like atom, which is a single electron system, has a revolving electron around the nucleus. Potential energy. Potential energy of the electron equal to potential energy of the system equal to constant Z into E, charge of the nucleus, minus E, charge of the electron, by distance between nucleus and the electron. So potential energy is a scalar quantity. That is why consider negative sign. Whereas force is a vector quantity, consider just magnitude. So potential energy is constant Z square by R with negative sign minus constant Z square by R. What is epsilon naught? Where epsilon naught is absolute permittivity of free space. R is radius of the atom. Kinetic energy of the revolving electron is half m v square. Now we have to substitute for mv square. We don't want kinetic energy in terms of velocity. Okay. But centripetal force equal to Coulomb's force. Centripetal force is mv square by r. Coulomb's force is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Z into E, magnitude of charge of the nucleus. E is magnitude of charge of the electron by r square. It is force, therefore r square. I want mv square. mv square is here. R get cancels. Let us substitute this equation in this expression. Therefore, kinetic energy becomes half constant, half is half, constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Z square by R. This is equation 2. Potential energy is equation 1. So adding 1 and 2, now total energy E equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Kinetic energy is half constant Z square by R. Plus potential energy is with negative sign minus constant Z square by R. This is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught equal to constant Z square by R. Constant Z square by R. Constant Z square by R is the common factor. Remaining is half minus 1. Half from this, from the second half minus 1 equal to minus half constant Z square by R. This is total energy. But expression for radius is n square h square epsilon naught by pi m Z square. Am I right? 2 to 1 n square h square epsilon naught by pi m Z square. This implies, let me substitute expression for radius in the expression for energy. Therefore, energy equal to minus half constant z square by, now expression for radius, n square h square epsilon naught by pi m z square. Now simplify carefully. Pi get cancels. M z e square, z square goes to numerator. So m z square e to the power of 4. Am I right? Z into z, z square. E square e power 4 by 4 into 2 8 epsilon naught square n square h square with negative sign. This is the expression for energy of electron in nth orbit. Therefore, I am just changing the notation, e to en, m z square e to the power of 4 by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. This is the expression for energy of electron in nth orbit. And if you observe carefully, this energy is proportional to minus 1 by n square. Minus 1 by n square. Negative sign indicates that energy should be supplied to remove electron. Means electron is a bound electron, it is not free electron. So free electron we have seen in the case of photoelectric effect, whereas this electron is bound electron. Observe, En is proportional to 1 by n square. With the increase in n, energy decreases, but En is proportional to minus 1 by n square. With the increase in n, energy also increases. Means if electron is away from the nucleus, its energy is more. That is the meaning of this equation. So this equation can be asked for 3 or 4 or 5 marks. Students, copy this, practice. I suggest you to write this derivation once, twice. Not looking at this derivation, write the third time.